Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-List, where we bring to you candid conversations with some of India's biggest names. Listen in to this exclusive interview with actress Nushrratt Bharuccha as she delves into her experiences, insights and her latest project, Akeli.
A versatile actor.
What is the reason you said yes to the project? What convinced you?
The one team in all my years of working who have really stuck to a collaborative creative process where they've taken everybody's thought in account.
Well known for her challenging role selection.
How was the shoot, Nushrratt? Was it challenging? Was it emotionally draining for you?
No, it was honestly very difficult for me because I'd just come off a hectic schedule of back-to-back films. And I think lockdown jaise hi khatam hua, everybody ran on sets to make films.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Nushrratt Bharuccha for excellence in acting.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're joined today by actor Nushrratt Bharuccha. Nushrratt, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today. I want to start out by asking you about your new upcoming film, Akeli. It looks very, very interesting, but what is the reason you said yes to the project? What convinced you?
I think the conviction the makers had of the film, that's the director and Vicky sir and Shashank sir and my producers, they have come to my house, they've come to my sets wherever I'm shooting, and they've actually sat and discussed every doubt I had, every question I had. I think this is the one team in all my years of working who have really stuck to a collaborative creative process where they've taken everybody's thought in account and gone back and seen if it can be corrected in script or incorporated in the story, or just connect all those loopholes and the logics which eventually even audiences will ask questions on. And that whole process of wanting to do the film right and to do it sensibly was something that really touched my heart, if you could say that. The intention was right, the passion was right, and that's why I said, I'm going to do it with you guys. I'm going to trust you guys and take on this journey.
Right, and how was the shoot, Nushrratt? Was it challenging? Was it emotionally draining for you, playing such a character? It's obviously an intense performance. How was the shoot for you?
No, it was honestly very difficult for me because I'd just come off a hectic schedule of back-to-back films, and I think lockdown jaise hi khatam hua, everybody ran on sets to make films, and all the films I'd committed to were suddenly on floors. So I was just running from one set to another to another. Then I'd just finished promoting and releasing Janhet. I was in the middle of a lot of stuff, and I honestly wanted a break because right after Akeli I was starting Chori 2. And I wanted to be mentally at peace and relaxed before Chori 2. I didn't want to take on a film. But these guys had waited for me for quite a while. And they had a very real logistic problem that if they don't shoot it before the winters, because we want that terrain and we want to go, to a country which gives us that dry, this thing where that element adds to the reality of the situation and the place of the story. If we don't shoot it in this time period, we'd have to come back 1 year later. And I just couldn't do that. Yeah, I couldn't be a person who would make them wait for a whole year. It's not cool. So I just somehow cleared some dates and landed up in a foreign country and said, okay, let's shoot this.
Now, Nushrratt, audiences have loved, of course, your performances, in hit comedy films, many that you have given. Was it a conscious decision to diversify though, to look at different genres, to look at different types of characters and scripts? Was it a conscious decision, or is it something that just came your way, these projects?
No, there was not a conscious choice at all actually. It was not something I went out in the industry or the trade or the market and asked for, reached out, or actors put out a message and they try and meet those kind of filmmakers to do those films. I did none of that. Chori just happened to come my way. I did Chori, and even before Chori released, I had 2-3 other films that had come my way, which were of different genres is what a commonly used term is, but for an actor, they are from absolutely different worlds, absolutely different situations, stories, conflicts, and I feel like, even if I just do, say, 20 films in my career, those 20 films have to be something I know I've done a variation of stories, shades. That's where the fun is. I've always actually said this. I said I don't like doing what I've done before in a film or in a character or a role. That's my preferred choice. Abhi agar nahi milta hai, same hi milta hai, तो I'd do that also because it's not. I of course enjoyed what I played, but now if I did a film like Akeli, I would not do a similar subject again. It's not. It's honestly not correct for the film, the one that I've done and the one that I'd do again. And also, I won't have fun doing it again because I've exhausted myself emotionally in this journey. I can't do the same thing again. So it was never a conscious choice. It's just come my way, and I'm exploring it.
Right. Now, coming back to Akeli now, it is obviously set abroad. It's set, in a warlike situation in the Middle East. Did you do research for this project, Nushrratt, or did you completely trust your director's vision?
My director had done a lot of research on his own, actually. And I feel as an actor, for me specifically, and I've learned this the hard way, is if you are not in sync with your director, you don't see the vision he sees, and if you can't trust him and he can't trust you, then no matter how good that film is, we'll end up spoiling it fully. So I had to trust him with it. I had to go back and ask him all the questions which maybe he didn't ask himself also. And he was a director who would go, he'd actually say, okay, wait. He'll go, he'll take a day, he'll do the homework and come back with an answer, with an option, with a solution to everything I've asked, which I think is a great process because if मैं एक चीज़ सोच के करूँगी, he'll say ये मैंने सोचा नहीं था, this doesn't work for me, तो कोई फ़ायदा नहीं था. It's better if we are in sync of what we're going to do when we get onto set that day and how we're going to execute those particular scenes emotionally, technically, in every way. So I honestly did trust him on most of his research. I of course did mine as well. But mine is more about getting into the girl's character, getting into the film, finding my logic to it, justification to it, my emotional conviction to it. Because why does she say a certain line? Why does she pick up a gun or even a bottle of water? Has to have a backstory to it. I have to know why she's doing it. I can't just do what I feel like. So that is my background and my homework.
Okay. Now I want to ask you personally, what sort of genre do you like to watch? What sort of films and OTT content do you watch in your free time? People love your comedies. Now you're doing, thrillers and horrors as well. But what do you enjoy watching in your free time?
I watch a lot of psychological thrillers. I watch a lot of whodunits. I watch a lot of murder mysteries. A lot of them. I think I have nipped out everything that there is on the OTT platforms because it keeps me on the edge. It keeps me hooked. I think there are very few romantic dramas, I mean, unless it's a Korean drama, then I definitely watch it, that I've picked up on my own and started watching. I'd first go and look for a thriller or a mystery. So that's my favorite.
Okay. My final question to you, just looking back at your career now, which do you believe has been one or two game-changing projects for you, which you believe have, changed the course of your career?
Thankfully, you've asked for two. So I'll give you two because they both have been game changers in their own way. The first, I think, was Love, Sex or Dhokha, because while shooting that film, I actually fell in love with the process of being an actor. That film is what hooked me on to being here and braving it all and tackling it all and still keep doing this day in and day out. And I can tell you this as a fact, any actor who doesn't love what they're doing cannot sustain. They cannot be here. So that film made me fall in love with this process, which is why it was a game changer personally for me. The second film was Sonu Ki Tito Ki Sweetie, because that game changer on a larger scale was a box office success, was a stamp on the fact that I'm right here, and opened up so much more for me to do as options of films to choose, characters to choose, filmmakers to choose. Suddenly it gave me choice, which I didn't have before that. So that's also a very powerful game changer in an actor's career, is that they have the power of choosing it.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.